Yeah.
Probably the worst poems in the history of mankind for depressingness.
I know. It hurt every time.
Man. Anyway, that's crazy. Sorry that I'm all over the place. Today is a hectic day. I just came home. I'm at home in my house, but in like 5 minutes, I'm meeting a couple downstairs to go take photos for their engagement.
Oh man.
Oh, that's so exciting.
It's not really. It's pouring with rain outside, so I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do.
Oh,
It's the story of my life.
do you always have bad luck when you're trying to shoot?
Nah, I mean, I get pretty lucky.
Oh, that's
I don't know. Anyway. Okay, first question. What does each poem have to say about what is expected of women regarding beauty?
Okay, so that Barbie one, that one is so sad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab my notes really fast.
Okay. I can start saying something.
Yep.
Okay, so I think basically what the Barbie one is saying, or what both of them are saying really, is that women are expected to put everything aside basically and kind of conform to what society wants them to be, even if it means like sacrificing their talents or whatever that may be.
Yeah. It's interesting, like that Beauty by Tony Hoagland one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, like what's expected of beauty. It's like expected that everyone like has to look a certain way to be beautiful, and it's saying that beauty it's only like a short term thing, maybe. Because it's kind of because like maybe I read the story wrong, but it was kind of just like she's talking about her sister that was this beautiful person in school, and then had all these guys that she was trying to date. That whatever, and she even refers to her as being like a dumb blonde.
Yeah.
But then she's like, and then later on in life, she realized that, oh, I'm no longer, I have the marks on my face, and I'm no longer that, that I'm looked at and revered as this beautiful thing, and I've lost the attention. But the idea of the society's beauty is still going on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of this expectation that you've got to keep up with beauty.
Yeah.
You have this expectation that you need to keep up with what society is saying is beautiful. Otherwise, you miss out. It's like, you're done. See you later. We're finished with you. And I think that's what happened there.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's such a big thing. Like, in order to be beautiful, within like the last 10 years, like you look at fashion and like how much has changed, and like just like the fashion industry itself, like not even just like hair or like body standards or anything like that, like, and like you have to keep up with like what's in, what's not in, what's bad, like what's seen as weird, like all these different things.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
like how you're saying, like you have to keep up in order to get it. Like, that's just no.
Yeah.
Point.
Sorry, I don't want to drag this out any more than we have to. But something I thought interesting as far as like expectations, the very first paragraph talks about when she was little, right? And it talks about how she was presented with dolls, miniature stoves and irons and like lipstick, it's almost like it seems like she's saying we're raising our children, girls specifically, to become a certain way, like we're giving them stoves to play with and irons and lipstick, like, because that's what adults do. And it seems like that's kind of what we're expecting them to do when they get older,
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting point.
And like you could also like talk I could also talk about like how like all the things that they're given are like not like educational things, like it's not like books or anything like that. Like when they're
Yeah.
talking about the dolls and stuff like that, it's like ovens, like stay at home and cook, put on lipstick, and
Be
well, I
pretty.
forget
Yeah.
the other thing they said. Yeah.
Okay.
Next
Next question.
What are the obstacles faced by women who want to try to meet the standards of beauty society sets? I think for that one in the Barbie doll poem, that was heavy. That was kind of sad, but it
Yeah.
was like, finally at the end when she died, she got the happy ending, I guess, of people saying, "Oh, doesn't she look pretty?" But her whole life she had to deal with the fact that her nose and her legs were fat nose and thick legs.
Yeah. She had big nose and fat legs.
And I honestly, this is kind of a personal application, but I saw my mum. Now, I think my mum's beautiful. I think she's a pretty woman, not just because she's my mum, but just, whatever. But even hearing her and her, like, thinking that she's not beautiful because of what, and I think that's an obstacle in itself, is if society says that these models that are on these magazines and these catwalks, this is the definition of beauty, then everybody else has got no chance. It's almost like no one else can be beautiful except for these people. But they want everyone to aspire to that. They want everyone to be like this and to buy the clothes that these beautiful women are wearing, because it's saying, well, if you do this, then you can be beautiful too.
Right.
That's just an obstacle I think about.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think the obstacle is that it's just impossible, really. Like the bar is set so high that it's ridiculous to even. It seems ridiculous to even try.
Yeah. There's this spoken word poem called "To This Day," and it's like this like girl, and she has a birthmark that takes up a little less than half her face. And it talks about like how she's like made fun of in school, about how people like put like signs on her desk that said like beware of dog. And then it says, and they'll never understand that she's raising two kids whose definition of beauty begins with the word mom, because they see her heart, but they see her skin, because she's only ever been amazing. And it's like, I think that's like a really cool thing to like talk about, is that like a lot of times like beauty now and like is like so much physical that like the other things don't even matter. Like how it's talking in these poems, even like it's all physical beauty that they're talking about. It's talking about her hair, talking about her thing, and then like tossing aside like the talents that she had before, like tossing away her intelligence and just like going with only her beauty and being known as the pretty person, not so much as the smart person.
Yeah.
That's not what she wants.
Yeah, that's good. That's good insights. What's that? Where did you find that?
It's a poem. It's called "To This Day."
It's
like 10 minutes long.
Okay, I might look it up afterwards.
It's called Shane Quick. It's by Shane Quakeson. It's a really well-known spoken word.
Oh, okay.
I memorized it on accident because I watched it so many times.
Nice.
And I use it for speech all the time.
Cool. All right, next question. What are the consequences for those that do not, meaning those that do not conform or try to meet the standards of society sets, I guess, because that's the previous question. So what are the consequences for those who do not? I would say acceptance would be a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to take it a step further and talk about things like depression and anxiety and even obsessive compulsive disorders and other things, because people are so caught up in trying to meet the world standards of being beautiful.
Yeah.
They're the things that come to my mind.
Yeah, I think that one of the consequences is that you just lose your self-worth. Like, do you guys remember studying in psychology, I think, like the hierarchy of needs?
Yeah.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah, I remember one of them.
You would know the name of it, Kimberly. Bless your heart.
Sorry.
I
So
love
there's
it.
there's like safety, belonging, self-esteem, and one of them is self-actualization, and that's the one where you like pursue your talents and your goals and your dreams and stuff like that. And I think sadly that's what happens when we feel like we can't fit in, you know, like we just base all of our worth on our appearance and how people view us, you know. And I think we sacrifice our worth when we don't meet the standards, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Want to go next question, or Kimberly? Did you want to say anything on that, or?
No, you're okay. You keep going. I was just looking at the pyramid.
Okay. I guess the next question is very similar. It says, "What happens when someone cannot meet society's expectations of beauty?"
I think like you were kind of saying, like it just kind of becomes like an obsession that people have with like trying to meet that.
Yeah.
And like again, like you see like the makeup industry has been like huge in the last like year with like everybody in their contouring and stuff that I have no idea how people even do that. I don't even know. Like I don't wear makeup, so like this is kind of like a hard thing for me to talk about because I don't really know any of that. But like you see like even like that sort of stuff, or like people like dyeing their hair or like cutting their hair or like doing like all these different things to like enhance their beauty or whatever, using like makeup or whatever, or like straightening their hair, whatever it is, but like not embracing like their true self, but like relying on like this sort of masquerade that presents them how they're supposed to be seen instead of how they actually are and how they actually should be seen, instead of this whole facade that they're putting on.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think that question kind of leads into the other one anyway. But I was thinking back to what are the consequences of those note, and another one that came up is people get judged. Yeah, people get deemed as ugly. There's the flip side of it, because if you don't meet society's expectation of beauty, then what are you?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someone would say, "Oh, you're average," or "You're ugly," or whatever. But I think that the important thing of these poems is the first one, Beauty by Holgard, at the end. She realized that society didn't set the standard for what was beautiful. And then she kind of had something was lifted. Oh, that's ugly. Sorry. Someone's at the door and I don't know who it is. Anyway, I'll keep walking, but oh, this is annoying. Yo, I'll come down in a second.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. That's weird. That's my people who are here for my photography appointment. That's so awkward because I didn't even give them my unit number, so I don't even know how the heck they found my unit.
Oh man.
Anywho, as I was saying, yeah, and so at the end, she kind of is like, well, she shrugged and tossed her shaggy head as if she was throwing something out, something she had carried a long ways, but had no use for it anymore. Now that is hard. That now that it had no use for her, that too was beautiful, and I think that's so true. Yeah, you know, she's in the end coming in and saying, "Oh, she didn't conform to what the society was saying," and that in itself is a beautiful story. That's beauty, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's, you know, on the flip side of that question too. Next question.
Yeah.
How might the effort of trying to meet society's expectations of beauty affect a person's life?
Yeah, kind of like kind of what we're talking about, like just like the obsession with like trying to meet them. Like there are people like all over Instagram and like all over every social media who are just like obsessed with like proclaiming the fact that they live up to these social pressures or these social stigmas, you know? And like you see it and you're like, okay, like I'm sorry, and you like kind of have like that guilt trip moment. You're like, oh wait, just kidding, don't care. But it's just like you have like this pressure all the time, and so kind of how it's saying like people are like become obsessed over to meet these expectations, who are like literally like starving themselves, like having any sort of eating disorder, like that's become such a big thing. Eating disorders, they're everywhere. Like the rate of eating disorders has been like so high, like it just keeps like skyrocketing every day because there's a lack of self-love and there's a lack of accepting who you are and having to live up to these standards despite your body type, despite your heritage, despite things that are like fighting against that. Like people are just throwing that all aside and trying to be whatever the Barbie doll is.
Yeah. With that question, and for the paper, Kimberly, I think a good parallel that I found for that question between both poems was in the third paragraph for the Barbie doll one. And what paragraph is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the fifth paragraph in the beauty one. So they both talk about how the girls really couldn't truly be happy or enjoy themselves because they're trying to be someone else. So like in the third paragraph in the Barbie doll, it says, she was advised to play coy, exhorted to come on hardy, exercise, diet, smile, and wheedle. Her good nature wore out like a fan belt. And I thought that was really cool imagery because like in a car, if your fan belt's not working, like the whole engine's not going to run, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's essentially what happened to her. Like she was smiling even though she was miserable, and her good nature completely wore out and she just couldn't function anymore. And in the beauty one, it talks about how she would spend recess, like instead of playing with the kids, she would pretty much just practice being beautiful, you know, like tossing her hair and laughing and stuff. And I think when the beauty finally went away, she realized like, wow, I could really enjoy life if I didn't focus so much on being beautiful, you know?
I really like that comment, Daniel. I think that's good. I had another thought too while you were talking about that, about the second. Which one was it? Hang on 1 second. This is really awkward. Trying to like do this and get ready. Anyway, time differences suck. Okay, so the thing that when you were talking about that too is if we look at, because the question after it, she said, look for some lines in the detail in the thing, in the poems. How might the effort of trying to affect someone's person's life? Yeah, that's right. So in the Barbie doll poem, you know, how it affected her life, she was so consumed with it, like we were talking about before, that she went out and tried to get things fixed about her. Yeah. Like it was like everything else about this chick was solid, but she just had fat legs and a big nose.
Yeah.
Or fat nose and thick legs. So what does she do? She goes and cuts her nose off and offers up her legs. So I mean, you can interpret that in different ways, but I mean, when you think about that, that's so sad. That's, you know what I mean? That's what she resorted to. To conform to what society was telling her.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know? And then the other, on the flip side of The Beauty by Toni Holgard, she just lived a miserable life, and it took her a number of years to realize, hang on a sec, I don't need to worry about this anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in today's society, oh my gosh, Instagram, social media, all that stuff is the devil.
Oh, amen, dude.
It is the devil. And I see it because my business and everything that I do is social media. It's all social media. And
Yeah.
if I was to put a photo, like as being a photographer, if I was to put a photo of a girl in a bikini at the beach drinking coconut water, I would get thousands of likes. And then if I put a photo up of a baby or of a family, I'd get maybe 100 or 200 or 300 likes. Okay.
Oh, so true. Yeah.
And it drove me crazy. It drove me mental. So I restarted my Instagram. And I lost all the followers. I lost like everything that I lost. I don't post any of that stuff that the world would want me to post to Divine that's beautiful, because I don't want to contribute to, I guess, what these poems are saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I just post. Oh man, these people. Hang on. Yo. Just be patient.
I'm just talking to you. Need any help?
Oi, I'll be down. I'm doing a homework assignment.
Oh.
I'll be there in.
Come back later.
No, I'll be back. I'll be there in 30 seconds. Hang on.
Okay.
Anyway, man. So the funny thing about this chick is I actually know her. She's actually a really good friend, and she's from New Zealand. And she's just like me, kind of straight up. She's being cheeky. She knows that I'm busy, but she's still trying to be irritating
That's funny.
by wrecking my life right now. And I'm sorry, sister Emily Hove, that you had to hear this. And now my phone's ringing. Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I suck. Anyway, I'm going to finish with this thought. The world's definition of beauty sucks, okay? And I hate it. And you guys might not even know this about me, but I 100 pounds.
Wait, what, Mark?
Which is like, or maybe I used to be 380 pounds, not 400, about 380 pounds.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And all my life, the idea of beauty and what is acceptable was drilled into me. People would say that you're fat and this and that and the other, and it killed me, yeah? And so I did something about it, and before my mission, I dropped like 100 and some, I don't even know. I only know it in, if that's what that is in kilos. I just know kilos. In kilos, I lost 80 kilos, right?
Oh my gosh.
So, and I went through that, and then once I lost the weight, and I thought, oh, like I'm acceptable. Then people are like, oh, you have loose skin. You have like these rolls, you know, you got it. And so I went in and I paid $25,000 Australian, and I had this skin surgery to get rid of all this excess skin. So I had, then I go from that to losing the weight to getting the skin done. And then I go, and then people are like, oh, you need to work out. You need to have, and then I was like, what the heck is wrong with the world? And it took me years. So it's like, it's the world's expectation of beauty is it's never enough. It's never, you're never going to be good enough. And so until you start loving yourself, then anyway, I just going to finish on that. That's just my thought. If any of you want to speak, you can speak.
No, I think that's a good.
But the world sucks.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I'll send you a photo. I'll send you a photo in the in our Facebook chat.
Hey, you know what? I saw my roommate did. I don't know if you remember a video on depression. I think Chris Udall, and I remember your story was in there.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
I have a YouTube. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome, man.
Fascinating. Anyway, I think we've answered all the questions. I got a jet anyway.
So you can just end it and save it and send it. I think we're good.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Who's doing the paper?
Me.
Kimberly.
Okay.